Hey gang, Jeff Reinhart here with you. How are you? Thanks for finding my new page. Appreciate the hits. Thanks for jumping on board, LLLeaguesports.com. Video number 1 for this week, all non-league games. So I'll talk about the games involving the Section 1 teams. There are a couple crossovers where LL2 is playing a 1, so I'll hit all the games involving Section 1 teams in this video. And the little ticker here says that I have 10 minutes, so away we go. Dallastown at Warwick. Warwick quarterback Tyler Farnan is back. He broke his thumb in this game last year, don't forget, and went on to miss the whole season. He's back. Rugged, big, mean, gnarly line for Warwick. Really like those guys. Devaney, Bollinger, watch out for those kids. Looking to replace Darren Thompson, obviously the 2,000-yard rusher. Coach Locker was working some kids in there during scrimmages, so keep an eye on the backfield for Warwick. They lost some weapons. Rissinger's gone, and again Thompson's gone with his 2,000 yards and Player of the Year honors, and he's at Penn State. He made the team as a walk-on. Congrats to Darren. Dallastown 10-0 last year, number 1 in District 3 Quad A, going into the playoffs. They got tripped up in the second round. They beat CV actually in the first round. Don't know a whole lot about Dallastown, quite frankly, but they got to come to Warwick and play, and Warwick will be out for some revenge in that game, breaking in some new skill kids. So could be some growing pains in Lidditz. Hang tough. The line is really good and rugged. Those guys are very good. Okay, next up, Exeter at Ephrata. Some good pieces for Ephrata. Jeremy Frank, the quarterback, is back. I like Horst on the end. He's a really underrated player. Strack in the backfield. Burkholder in the backfield. Some good pieces there. We'll see how Ephrata does. It was a quick hello, goodbye. Came up to Section 1. Now they're going back down to Section 2 next year. I think Ephrata will play with some chips on its shoulder. I think they think they're overlooked a little bit, you know, as there's this Section 1 team there kind of near the bottom, and, you know, like I said, they were up for a year and now, you know, gone back. We'll see how they handle that. Don't forget, they beat CV, which was a district team, and Cocalico, which went to the district final last year in AAA. So Ephrata will hang, no doubt about it. They lost this game last year up in Exeter, over in Exeter, 35-7. So we'll see if Ephrata can snap back, get a 1-0 get a 1-0 start, because momentum will be key for those guys with a tough Section 1 slate coming up. LS at Hempfield. Hello, Ron Zieber. Welcome. Black Knight's new coach. This is his debut in Landisville. Installed a spread package, some new schemes and whatnot going on over at Hempfield. They'll have some new kids. Their roster was a little bigger, so he might have gotten some of those kids back who departed last year, unfortunately. So Hempfield will definitely be a storyline to see how Coach Zieber does with his new stuff. Going spread. New look for the Knights. LS loaded. Wow. Nate Schenk, the quarterback's back. Jordan Groff is back, running back. Dan Neff is back. Matt McCruden is back, fullback. Mike McNellis is back. Ray Lopez, wideout, D-back, and kick return specialist. He's back with a ton of speed. Jeff Pickles back, leading tackler. Jason Lindsley's back, another super linebacker. Not a lot of depth. Especially in the trenches for LS, but they have a ton of kids back. They came up to Section 2 last year and punched everybody in the mouth. Went 9-1, went to the district semis and play McDevitt. LS has the bullseye. Enjoy that, fellas. They're the team to beat in Section 2 with a good chunk of kids back. Lebanon at Cedar Crest. It's the Cedar Bowl. I think this is the 40th edition of that fun game. Keep an eye on the quarterback spot for Lebanon. Alex Troutman had an ankle injury during camp. I think he got at a basketball thing this summer. But they have Mark Piles, the sophomore, ready and waiting. He's really good, and he's going to be a stud. But Troutman's really good too. Those guys should maybe split the snaps. We'll see. I don't know if it'll be 50-50. And I know Troutman's got an ankle. Cedar Crest, plain and simple. Got to stop people. Dead last in the league in total defense last year. Got to clean that up, no doubt. Garrett Levengood, really good quarterback. Underrated. He was the first team Section 1 All-Star quarterback last year, and I don't think a lot of people knew that because Crest went 1-9. So Crest got to get better on defense, and they got to go up against Air Raid in Week 1. So they'll be tested. Manheim Township at Central Dauphin. That's a big boy quad A game. CD, I'm hearing, will lose a kid for some disciplinary reasons, but they'll still be there. They're loaded in the trenches, and they'll compete in that top mid-pen section this season, no doubt about that. Township, Brennan Scott. 6'1", 180 junior, back for his 3rd season starting. Don't forget, he played as a freshman. He is going to sniff some of Pat Bostic's records before he's done, and he could be a D1 kid before he's done. He's already getting looks, and he had a great summer on the camp circuit. Really like Brennan Scott. Razorback is back. Township ditched the Bear defense, and they're going 4-4. So some tweaks and some changes at Township. Coach Melnick really cleaned house and took a look in the mirror. So Township's going to challenge. They'll be there in Section 1. Tough opener here, having to go over to Harrisburg and play CD, but I think they'll get a lot out of the game, and if they get a W, that's gravy. McCaskey at Coatesville. McCaskey needed a game here because Peabody dissolved, so needed a week 1, and they got Coatesville, a familiar foe. These guys have played a ton over the years. A bunch of former McCaskey coaches at Coatesville. This will be fun, like a homecoming. Matt Ortega, the head coach, used to coach at McCaskey. Scott Feldman, former McCaskey head coach, is there. Damian Henry's there, a whole bunch of guys. So a lot of familiar faces in this game. Coatesville, Manny Stocker, D1 quarterback. He's going to NC State. Kyle Carrick, D1 wideout. He's going to Michigan State, so look out for those guys. McCaskey's secondary will be under the gun here to make plays in the opener. Jonathan Julio, quarterback from McCaskey, operating out of the new spread. Chris Myers came over from Peckway, put in a no-huddle spread, hurry-up offense. So we'll see how they master that. He'll certainly have the kids, no doubt about it. Swinton, Glover, Deontay Cherry. Wow, McCaskey's got playmakers. They also have York next week, Lancaster Catholic the week after that, and then the Section 1 opener against Wilson. Wow, tough 4-week stretch for McCaskey, but they will be there, I promise. Next up, Solanco at Penn Manor. This game is 8 o'clock in Millersville. Don't forget, men's soccer team has a game at 4:30, so they pushed back Comets Mules an hour. 2 great special teams kids on display in this game. Dalton Palmer for Penn Manor and Joe Welk for Solanco can both take it to the house in returns. Welk is probably one of the best players in the league you've ever seen. 900 rushing yards, 3 kick returns for touchdowns last year. He can scoot. Could be a 1,000-yard back because Solanco has some serious meat back in the trenches. Big boys, 4 returning starters. Tyler Stitz, the new quarterback for Solanco, was a wideout and all-star safety last year. Wideout and safety all-star. He'll take the snaps this year for Solanco in their spread, wing tee, shotgun, kind of funky look. First time throwing passes. Really like Dalton Palmer, as mentioned, hooking up with Adam Saad, the quarterback, junior quarterback for the Comets, had a really good summer. Saw him in a camp down in Maryland. He really impressed, can roll out, make plays out of the pocket. Penn Manor will contend. They lost those 3 linebackers and some line kids, but I think Penn Manor will be there. That's an interesting game. That might be the best game with 2 LL teams in it. Solanco at Penn Manor. Last game, Wilson at Governor Mifflin. Old school Berks County rivalry. Wilson lost 16 starters, 9 on defense. They're going to look different. Whole new linebacking crew, whole new offensive line, whole new defensive line. Rodney Gillen's back, 1,800-yard rusher. He'll be awesome, no doubt. Seth Klein, the quarterback, played last year. He started 4 games when Zwizik was out. Mifflin and Wilson are bitter rivals in everything. They could play Tiddlywinks on Route 222, and they would get a crowd. Big Berks County game. That'll be fun. Wilson at Governor Mifflin. Okay. Those are the Week 1 non-league games featuring Section 1 teams from the LL. Keep checking back every week. I'll get you videos from all the sections and all the games, and keep you up to date on what's going on with LL football. Thanks for tuning in, and talk to you soon.